Welcome back to HematiteHomestead. Today I'm finally going to show you what's in this box, and we're going to also take a look at my very first attempt at a dry cure. I'm going to tell you how I did it and why we're not going to eat it. Alright, this is a Vevor Meat Slicer, and this is going to be an awesome addition to our kitchen as we're going to be strongly focused on whole muscle dry curing once we start processing kunis here at HematiteHomestead. So let's take a look at this guy. All right, this is the Vevor 250 B3 Meat Slicer. We bought this on Amazon. You can go straight to the Vevor website and purchase this, and lots of other websites offer this very same model. I thought I was going to have to put it together. There's no assembly required. I did put the guard on it. It goes in with these two little screws on the side here. And I don't have anything to put on it right now to test it out, which is unfortunate. I was hoping to have that. But I'm going to start it up, and it's a little louder than I thought it was going to be, but I don't care about that. Yeah, can't wait to use this. All right, yeah, before us, my first attempt at a Capicola, and there's some issues with it. We're going to go over that. So I robbed this off of the top of a Boston butt. The Copa muscle is at the top of the neck, and sometimes if you go to the supermarket, you can find a remnant of it on a Boston butt. Usually not very big, and you can see here that this is pretty small. So here's how this started. I started off with a 1,326 gram Copa. This was the recipe that I used, and then I monitored the weight. It took me about 4.5 months to get this from 1,326 grams we started at. The target was 837, and we got 837 in about 4.5 months. All right, so major problem with this. We are not going to eat this, and here's why. So I cut it a little while ago. I'll cut it again to let you see the collar in here. It's starting to darken up as it's starting to dry out a little bit. But as I was carving this away from the Boston butt, I got my knife a little too deep in this area right here. And you can see this area is, this is not cured, this is rot. You can see the difference in color and the fat. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and slice a big chunk of this off so you can. So I was really pleased with the color here and all the color in this. This is even a little darker than it was earlier today. But anyway, so you got a spot up here, and then this is the spot where I laid my knife down into, and I didn't get it wrapped up enough. It created a spot for air to be in it and to trap bad bacteria. And so here, and then on this, there's a better picture of it right there. So you can see in there the huge hole was created, and you can tell the difference in the color of the fat here, and even the meat's a lot darker in this area than it was over here. So that was disappointing, but first attempt, and we will definitely continue to try. There's even, yeah, so if I peel that away, you can see there the collar's just not right, and bad bacteria and rot, and we are not going to eat this, unfortunately. I was hoping to be able to slice this on the meat slicer, but that is not going to happen. All right, so unfortunately we're not going to give this a try. This is this area where you see the discoloration and the yellowy fat. This can be botulism. Botulism is a real thing, and to watch out for, and botulism can kill you, and we will not be eating this. It's going straight in the trash, unfortunately. Do another attempt at it for sure, and try and get it right next time. The got my knife too deep in there. I knew when I got my knife too deep down in there when I slayed this from the Boston butt, and I was hoping it was going to be okay, and I worried about it the whole 4.5 months, and it's definitely not okay. So I used the cure recipe on that, and vacuum packed it, cured it for 7 days, and then I removed it from that and wrapped it with these dry aging wraps, which did not get real tight on it either. Could have done better on that. Next time we do it, we'll definitely have something better than this. I wasn't crazy about this to start with. Not really what it's designed to do, but it's all that I had. And then this bag, you see how this is kind of laid flat, and I didn't have it tight enough. And I'd rather kept it in a nice circle, and I needed to get it wrapped tighter. And I used this, which came in the dry aged wraps, and it just wasn't quite tight enough. So we will definitely come back and try that again. If you're not trying stuff, you're not going to learn stuff. So huge fail on that, and it's going to go in the trash, and we'll get it right next time. Okay, so I don't have something today to test out on the Vevor Meat Slicer, but you're in for a real treat because I'm going to make something to put on it. All right, I'm going to make the sandwich meat of all sandwich meats. I'm going to make pastrami. And if you don't eat pastrami, I suggest you check your pulse because you're not living. We made a pastrami earlier this year in January, and I wanted to do another one. It turned out really good, and I did not want to do it until I got the meat slicer because my knife skills didn't allow me to slice it as thin as I wanted it. So now we got the meat slicer, and I'm going to get this into brine. I combined this pastrami in. I've got this Rubbermaid container. It's 18 inches by 12 inches, and it holds 3.5 gallons. Okay, to make this brine, I use everything in weight and everything in grams. And I don't remember where I found this recipe at last time I made this, but I do remember I searched high and low on Google until I found a recipe that measured everything in grams. So I want my measurements to be absolute and be no questioning anything. So 7 grams of coriander, 13 grams of mustard seed, 6 grams of cloves, that's whole cloves, 12 grams of cure number 1, 156 grams of dark brown sugar. Now this is where the grams really pays dividends because, you know, is it a half a cup of brown sugar? Is it packed? Is it not packed? How much is packed enough? I don't have to worry about any of that. 156 grams is 156 grams no matter how packed it is. Kosher salt, 226 grams. Hot pepper flakes, 8 grams. All right, now this is going to get 1 gallon of water. Do a little mix, get all the sugar broke down and the salt dissolved. And of course, you have to smell it. I like how that looks. Okay, we are not done yet. 5 cloves of garlic, and I smashed them just a little bit just to start releasing the fragrance. 4 or 5 bay leaves. A couple sprigs of rosemary that I smashed with the rolling pin to bust them up a little bit. And 4 or 5 juniper berries. Okay, and then we got the brisket. This is locally sourced brisket we get from Renwick, West Virginia, a farmer over in Renwick, West Virginia every year. And the butcher has taken off a little bit more fat than I want off of this. I would like there to be some more fat on the point. This is the point end up here. And I would like there to be a little bit more fat on that for pastrami, but we will see how this turns out. And then the flat side. Get that fully submerged in there. All right, a freezer bag, a Ziploc freezer bag full of water, and lay that on top of there. That will keep it from floating. And then add the lid. All right, last time I made pastrami, it had way more fat on it than what this one does. And I brined it for around 5 days, 5.5 days, and it turned out it needed a little bit more time. So I'm shooting for 6 days on this. It doesn't have near the fat. I think 6 days will be just right. At the end of that 6th day, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna rinse all the brine off of it. I'm gonna put it in a bath of water for overnight, and then it'll get rubbed and smoked the next day. And we're gonna do all that right here. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you next time.